Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning on this rainy Friday. I'm Major Robert Liberati. I'm the commander of the Automated Enforcement Unit for the Prince George's County Police Department. And I am pleased to introduce today a new piece of technology that we're going to incorporate into the safety that we're providing for our schools, our school crossings, and our roadways in Prince George's County. I'd like to start off with some introductions. From the police department, I have Mr. Carlos Acosta. He is our Inspector General, and he is the Ombudsman for the speed camera program. I have Sergeant Lisa Garland, who's going to be doing our demonstration on the street with the photo laser equipment. I have Miss Cynthia Parker, who is the supervisor of our crossing guard unit. I have Mr. Rex Barrett, who's the director of school security. Mr. Andreas Syons with the Department of Public Works and Transportation. I have Mr. John Townsend from AAA. Also with us today we have our vendor, Mr. John O'Connor, and Mr. Mike Phelan from Opto Traffic. They're the company that we're working with to provide this technology. Today I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about why we're doing this type of project. This is a pilot project. I'm going to talk a little bit about our needs, and then we're going to go out and do the demonstration. The Prince George's County Public Schools is the nation's 25th largest school system. We have approximately 127,000 students. 22,000 staff members, and all of them are either walking, riding bicycles, or carpooling or driving here every day. We use 1,100 school buses, which make 10,000 stops every day in Prince George's County. And they drop off our children to over 200 schools located within Prince George's County. Our crossing guard supervisor, Miss Cynthia Parker, can relate to the issues that we have with people that aren't paying attention or are driving aggressively through our school zones, including having crossing guards who have been struck by vehicles. Traffic enforcement is a priority for the Prince George's County Police Department. Along with our routine patrols in areas which we experience traffic accidents, we utilize programs such as Take 30 for traffic, DWI checkpoints, pedestrian safety, and aggressive driving enforcement. To multiply our traffic enforcement capabilities, we utilize 72 speed cameras, 31 red light cameras, and 20 school bus cameras in some of the busiest areas throughout our 500 square miles of Prince George's County. Today we are announcing this new tool in enforcement. It is a handheld photo laser gun. We are beginning with 2 of these guns. I would like now to have Mr. Rex Bear from the schools come up and say a couple words, and then we're going to go to Mr. John Townsend from AAA.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Major Liberati. I'd like to start off by thanking Major Liberati and the police department for all of their efforts that they undertake on a day-to-day basis to keep all of our students and staff members safe. As he already described to you, our school system is very large. We have a lot of staff members, a lot of employees, and a lot of students. They walk, they ride buses. It's of paramount importance for us to make sure that they have a safe route to and from school. And we look forward to working with Major Liberati and the police department on this pilot project. I'll be available later for questions if anyone has one. Thank you.
John?
Good morning. I'm John Townsend from AAA. I'm here for several reasons today, and one is to support this program, which we always have, and another is to support my granddaughter. She's a student at school here, and I was here anyway at 8 o'clock this morning for career day. My granddaughter is 9 years old. She's in the 3rd grade, and I just finished speaking to her class, and I asked them, which way do you look when you cross the road? What are the safety rules? And many of them didn't know. and to my chagrin, my granddaughter had forgotten everything I've taught her. But that's what kids do sometimes. But the fact of the matter is that this is about making kids safer. And the year before Prince George's County implemented its countywide speed camera program, 70 children under the age of 15 were struck by cars. And that's unacceptable. And what we have to do in this county is to inculcate traffic safety. And you think about Prince George's County, I live here, and we lead not only the state of Maryland, but also the entire Washington metro region in the number of traffic fatalities each year. We lead the state and the Washington metro region in the number of pedestrians who are killed each year. 18 last year, 2 cyclists killed last year, 87 persons killed altogether in traffic accidents. And we lead the state and the region in the number of drivers who are involved in traffic crashes while driving distracted. And this new technology, which was demonstrated for AAA 2 weeks ago, is a game changer. You may think of a radar gun as old school, but it's really high-tech with a throwback touch that empowers the police department to be in multiple places. Major Liberati talked a moment ago about the number of school systems they have been declared and designated as school zones, and a number of portable speed cameras they have, and we don't have enough. In all truth and in all actuality, there should be cameras in every school in the county, because the people who go to these schools are our sons, our daughters, and our granddaughters, and their lives are precious to us. Thank you. And grandsons too.
The advantage of this enforcement also include the ease of use for the police department. It's very beneficial on smaller streets where we can't put a full-size trailer or a box, particularly on a residential street on somebody's front yard. So it gives us the ability to quickly deploy this handheld unit for brief periods of time to zero in exactly where the community wants us to enforce. Frequently, we'll get calls from a community member, and they'll ask us to set up on a street with a speed camera, and we just can't put a box on somebody's front yard. But with this, we can run it right from the police car, right from the side of the street for that hour or two a day that it's needed, without having to cause a disruption to the neighborhood or to the landscape. Another advantage for us is this type of deployment will improve our effectiveness in school zones by detecting motorists who slow down immediately in front of the camera and then speed up shortly thereafter. So in other words, they slow down for the camera and then they take off. As long as we're still in the school zone, we can operate that camera and detect those kind of violations. The photo laser gun that we are using is called the Dragon Cam. It is made by a company called Dragon Eye Technologies. It has a range of 450 feet. It operates much like a laser gun, which we typically use in law enforcement. Like traditional photo enforcement, the enforcement zone is chosen and checked to make sure it is properly advertised and signed with both photo enforced and speed limit signs. Each school zone is either designated by the Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation or by the Maryland State Highway Administration. When we use this device, it is calibrated before use, both internally and externally, by the officer who is positioned inside the zone. The device is set to enforce at a speed of at least 12 miles per hour above the speed limit, and it is used only between the hours of 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. When an officer sees a vehicle which appears to be violating the speed limit, the officer points the device at the rear of the vehicle and follows the vehicle with the lens. When the device audibly and visually locks onto the vehicle, the camera takes photographic images. The officer also sees the speed, and the speed is placed on the photo with the vehicle and tag number. The officer then immediately views the violation and performs an initial verification using that tablet that's seen right here. After the officer finishes this verification, then the violation continues through our process just like any other speed camera violation. It goes back to our offices and is reviewed along with the make make of the vehicle, so we can determine if the tags belong on the vehicle. At that point, a violation notice will be mailed to the owner of the vehicle. We will begin with a 30-day warning period for this device. During this time, we will be demonstrating this equipment for prosecutors and judiciary. After 30 days, we will begin issuing a $40 fine, as we do with all our other speed camera violations. In summary, each day we dedicate patrol officers, crossing guards, and other resources to pedestrian, traffic, and school bus rider safety. Our commitment is to ensure traffic safety on the roadway and in our community, but we cannot have a police officer in every school zone. Therefore, we are using this latest technology as a force multiplier. This is a new program. These cameras will be the first portable photo laser guns by Prince George's County, and I believe we are the second jurisdiction in the country to put them into use. Our goal is to modify driver behavior by getting motorists to slow down and be observant. Now, please join me for our demonstration by Sergeant Lisa Garland. We'll be out on the roadway here. We'll be closing the road down briefly, and we'll have our Special Operations Division officer operating, I think it's a blue Ford, back and forth, and he'll show you some of the violations as they're done on the camera. Before we move, is there anyone has any questions for me?
One of the biggest criticisms of photo enforcement that you hear over and over again is that it doesn't change people's behavior the minute they're speeding. It happens 3 weeks or a month later when they get the ticket. Why is this going to be any different than? Why is this going to change behavior any different than the fixed cameras?
Well, we hear that from time to time, but now this program is 3 years old. We have 146 established school zones in Prince George's County. They're well marked. They're advertised. There's no secret in this. We just can't have an officer pull people over all day long in a particular school zone when we can cover our bases much better, get much more of a force multiplier out of automated enforcement. And the biggest thing is it's safer for our officers. They don't have to step out in traffic to try to pull somebody over. We don't have to worry about drunk or drug drivers that hurt our officers. This makes its point. It may not do it that minute, but it makes its point. And believe me, once you've had a couple of these tickets, you know you slow down.
What can you say about the accuracy of the technology?
This type of equipment is accurate plus or minus 1 mile an hour by the manufacturer. We also test this equipment ourselves, and it's internally and externally calibrated to ensure it's operating correctly.
So it's a pilot program?
Correct.
That lasts how long, and then what happens then?
Well, we're going to start off at this first month demonstrating the equipment to the judiciary and starting to get it out there and getting our people used to using it. We'll see how it goes. If it works well, we'll begin issuing violations after a 30-day period. If we see that it's really something that it's going to be advantageous for us, we may get some more guns.
How will you decide where to use it?
We're going to do this on a case-by-case basis in the beginning. The community requests that come up from day to day, we're going to look at them and decide if this would be a good use for our camera, maybe perhaps on the smaller school zones. There are 146 documented school zones in Prince George's County that are covered by either ordinance or by State Highway Administration permit. Yes, Mr. Adams?
Can you explain again how that's going to look different out on the roadway than one of those cameras that you see over there?
Well, for instance, that trailer out there is large. Even the smaller boxes are the size of this podium. If we're on a residential street that's all, I guess, manicured front yards, people don't want a box dropped on the front of their yard. So with this, we'd be able to pull up and run radar for an hour. Run laser for an hour or two, and then move on to a different spot without causing any kind of disruption to the landscape in the community.
Does it have to be though in a patrol car, or would it be mounted in?
Actually, it could be handheld. We don't even have to have a vehicle. We do have the ability to run it from a car, but we could stand there and do it. I think we're going to do that today.
If you didn't want to have like an officer, it can operate on its own without?
No, it has to have an officer operating.
So there are 146 school zones?
Correct.
How many?
Well, no, I'm sorry. There's 146 school zones that we've been approved to operate photo radar in.
Do you have any plans to use that in places that aren't school zones?
By law, we cannot. With the exception, of course, of Institute of Higher Education zones, which are also designated by Department of Public Works or state highways. These are areas like colleges.